Okay. So let's begin.
All right.
So good morning, everyone. My name is Moehrle, and I am here today to teach Ignite on setting goals that matter. The goal today is to give you clarity on setting your goals for 2022 and beyond. For those of you who don't know me, I am the productivity coach at Keller Williams, Hudson Valley Realty, and have been a licensed real estate salesperson for over 20 years now. 9 of them have been with Keller Williams. With my experience, I can tell you that goals really do matter. Stephen, I believe most of you know Stephen. Stephen is also here today with us as our moderator. Does everyone here know Stephen? Stephen wave? Okay. For those who do not know Stephen, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure.
Everyone?
No problem. So for the Middletown guys, I'm your agent services coordinator. So you get for Rockland and for Kingston, Oneonta, wherever you guys might be. It could be Kelly, it could be Haley, but we help you with the tech education, everything command. We can help you market. So Meralda, she's the agent side. She knows all the actual in the field, the really juicy stuff, but we help you with more of the back end type work.
Okay. So today we are going to focus on goals that matter. If you haven't done so, please download the course materials. Or if you have a printed version in front of you, that would be very helpful.
Excuse me, is this the same version from last week?
This
same script book from Ignite? It's the same thing, right?
I'm in the drive. There's only one script book, so I'm actually not sure, truthfully.
Right. It should have it should be the full Ignite sessions that was sent to them, Stephen.
Yeah,
But
I'd have to double check. I just don't want to mess the sharing screen thing up.
No, I know. But every
So
morning,
in other words, what I'm trying to ask is that we had Ignite last week and the week before. I'm downloading what I see in the email. Is it the same thing, repetitively?
No, it's not the same thing. Each class will be in the Spark category. It'll say Spark 5, Spark 6, and I'll say set your goals.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And today is Spark 5. And Erin sends out an email to everyone who registered for Ignite with the course materials attached. I know she sent that out this morning. Okay, so let's go over how you will be able to participate in today's session. All right, you can write a note in the chat window or raise your hand to ask a question using the reaction tab at the bottom right-hand side of your Zoom screen. And Stephen will be kind enough to bring your requests to my attention so I can answer your questions. All right, so Stephen, you'll just notify me when someone has a question for me, okay?
Yep.
So for those of you who have taken Ignite in the past, a few things have changed. It is now divided into 2 groups, Spark and Elementals. Spark is the incubator for success, where you will learn how to set a successful mindset. And Elements will teach you the skills to lead generate, set your appointments, and bring your deals to the closing table. All right, so that's the difference between Spark and Elementals. This is new. We used to have everything combined, and we find that this is definitely the way to go.
So you're saying Spark is the one that helps you set the goals?
Correct. All right, Right. So what I said was Spark is the incubator for success, where you will learn how to set a successful mindset. That's what Spark is, for your mindset. And Elements will teach you the skills. Elements teaches you the skills needed for you to lead generate and set your appointments. All right. And of course, bring you to the closing table. So let's move on to today's lesson. What are the things that Gary Keller says we need to do in order to grow our business and
Lead generate.
run our business. Right, right. Exactly. Growing our business is what we will be focusing on today. That's what we're focusing on today, growing our business, specifically in lead generating. So yes, Minnie, you are correct. So we are lead generating for appointments. And in this class, you will learn how to set goals for doing that. All right. So remember, no leads equals no business. No leads, no business. If we don't grow our business, there's nothing to run. Our job as agents is to lead generate on a daily basis. So I see that Stephen put up the first slide. So let's look at the slide and why it's important to your business. All right. So let's read each column. Let's start with grow business. Would someone like to read those 4 points? Or would you like me to read them? If you'd like to read them, raise your hand. Okay, I'll do it. You guys don't have to do it. All right, so grow your business. The first thing, lead generate for buyers and sellers. Number 1. Number 2, make seller listing presentations and get listings, which we all need to do desperately. We need to get those listings, especially in this market. 3, make buyer presentations and get listings. You should always have a buyer consultation. And 4, preview real estate. You must become a local expert. You need to know the inventory. So preview real estate. These are the 4 items to grow your business. Now let's take a look at the items we need to run our business. The first one, market seller listings. When you have a listing, you're going to market it. Of course, number 2, show buyers homes. 3, negotiate contracts. We need to be a good negotiator. 4, transaction management to the closing table. 5, vendor management. 6, set goals. 7, compliance, risk management. 8, attend training and get coaching. And 9, most importantly, is to manage your money, right? We have to manage your money. So here's the secret to being a successful real estate agent. There is no secret, guys. That's the secret. There is none. Success leaves clues. So we know exactly what successful agents do every day. Every day, agents do 2 types of activities. They grow their business and they run their business. The goal of our time here today is to model what successful agents do every single day and show you how to do it. Okay, Stephen, let's go to the next slide. And get into the session now. Okay. So today, these are the skills we're going to focus on. Every day, number 1, it's bright red. Every day we lead generate for buyers and sellers. Okay. Finally, we're going to set goals for our business. And just by being here today, all of you, you're getting training and coaching. So bravo. Great job to all of you. All right, Stephen, let's go on to the next slide. All right. Many agents get overwhelmed or frustrated when it comes to goal setting, especially for new agents. And I deal with new agents every day. So I understand this. And I once was a new agent myself. However, if you chunk it down and simplify it, it becomes easier and more exciting because it brings to light what you want immediately, what you want right now, and in addition, your future goals. So when you are clear on what your goals are, it becomes much easier to plan them out. The first thing you need to do is set a meaningful goal. right? How do you do that? Well, by completing a 411 with steps to move toward that goal. Does everyone here know what a 411 is? Okay. And for those of you who do not, we will be going over that in a short while. Okay, we will be going over the 411 again today. So today is going to be a lot of fun, guys, right? Today we're going to cover setting our goals, which is part of running your business. To do that, you have to think, where do you want to go? Where is it that you want to go? What is your motivation? And last, but certainly not least, how will you get there? Right? So today's learning module is called, as you all know, Set Goals That Matter. So what makes a goal matter? Does anyone want to answer that? What makes a goal matter? What makes your goal matter? Okay, well, I'll give you the answer, right? It is tied to something you really care about. That's what makes your goal matter. You have to really care about what it's tied to, right? Achieving it will have a real effect on your life. That's the whole thing. Achieving that goal will have a huge effect on your life. So you really have to think about, what is your main goal? All right. Stephen, let's go to the next slide. All right. So who here has heard of the one thing? Okay. Stephen's heard, Minnie's heard. Very good. Would anyone like to read the quote on the slide? No one?
I'll read
I
it for
will.
you. Oh,
Okay,
there you go,
Stephen.
Minnie. You got it, Minnie.
Who we are and where we want to go to determine what we do and what we accomplish.
That's
The
right.
one thing.
That's right. The One Thing is a book, if you haven't read it yet, which is a great book, and I greatly suggest you read it. The One Thing is a book by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. And it's about how to structure your life to achieve your goals.
Mhm.
We're going to be talking about a few of the principles from The One Thing today. But you should definitely, like I said, check it out for yourself. It's a great book. Now, thinking about this quote that Minnie just read for us, why is it important? Why is it important to set goals? And I really would like to hear something from some of you. Why do you think it's important to set goals every year?
It's a focus.
What is that, Minnie?
A focus.
Exactly. It helps you focus.
Yeah.
It sure
Gives you
does.
something to work towards.
That's
It,
right.
it holds you accountable.
Holds you accountable.
Oh,
That's right, Mel.
yes. Oh, yeah.
Yes, it does. When you write down your goals, it also becomes realistic, right? It's something right in front of you. Yes, you could have it all in your head, but it's best to write it down, right? So you can measure it, right? So you can measure it. It's important to set goals because the opposite of this quote, by the way, is also true, right? What you do and what you accomplish determines who you are and where you will go. If your activities don't have a guiding goal, you'll likely be very busy and not have a lot to show for it. And there are so many agents that tell me, I'm so busy, I have no time, I'm so busy. Well, the mission of Keller Williams is to build careers worth having, right? Businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. None of these things just happen. Setting goals that matter means doing work that matters. And when our work matters, we tend to do more of it, and we do it well. Don't you all agree? Okay. So let's go to the next slide, Stephen. Think, act, achieve. Part of achieving goals is working hard. I think we can all agree on that, right? If you don't put in the time and effort, you won't get very far. And I tell everyone the same thing when I first meet them, when they first get their license, what you put into real estate, you will get back. Right? You put nothing into this, you're getting zero back. Zero. And, you know, the proof is in the pudding. I have agents for 2021 who rocked it. 100 deals. My PC program put 100 deals under contract in 2021. And I'm not counting rentals here. I'm not counting rentals. And then I have some agents that did absolutely zero. And there's no rhyme or reason for that. Why is it possible for one agent who's brand new have 7 to 10 closings and one have nothing?
One listened and one didn't, and one didn't.
Right. It's what you put into this. You don't put anything into it, you're getting zero back. So looking at this graph, what else is important to setting and meeting goals? Anyone? What else is important to setting and meeting goals?
Taking action to realize those goals.
Yes, taking action.
Creating some kind of like roadmap or plan as to how you're going to get there.
Exactly. So you're going to what? You're going to think big, people. Thinking big. It's very important. I want you to think big, right? If you're trying to, you may not reach the moon, but as long as you can reach the stars, that's good enough, right? So think big. You don't get big outcomes from thinking small. You just don't. When we talk about thinking here, we're talking about thinking big when setting goals and thinking big on how to reach those goals. You have to ask yourself, what are you doing? How do you do it? Who are you doing it with? These answers can limit your outcome or they can propel you forward, right? Okay, Stephen, let's go to the next slide. So how big is your box, right? The question you need to ask yourself is how big is your box? If you're not thinking big, you're creating an artificial ceiling of achievement, right? There are only so many hours in the day. There's only so much any one person can do with those hours. And many new agents, they limit themselves right away. Maybe they don't call their sphere and just hope business will come their way and fall into their lap, right? I know a lot are waiting for that. Maybe they aren't consistent about lead generation. Maybe they refuse to learn scripts that would make their job 1,000,000 times easier. Okay. Most of those agents don't stay in the business because they treat it as a business, or they burn out because they aren't seeing a good return for their time and effort. I cannot tell you how many agents I have seen come and go in my 20 years. It's a long time. I've been licensed for a long time. But the agents who didn't give up, the ones who put in the time, followed the models and systems, these are the agents who are still in the business and have reached many or most of their goals. Right? Again, I'm going to say what you put into your business, you will get back. And from experience, I could tell all of you right here, when I first started, I never thought no way could I actually achieve my goals. I was like, there's no way. I did not know anyone in Rockland County. That's where I live. I moved here from Queens. I did not know anyone. I had no sphere of influence. I had young children in elementary school, but I was determined, and I had my good years and I had my bad years, but I never gave up. I never gave up. And I can tell you right now, I reached all my goals, every single one of them. And for me, the reason why I decided to go into real estate was to have more time to spend with my family. I quit my 9-to-5 in Queens because I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be with my children finally. But then once they went to school all day, I needed to do something with myself. And real estate was perfect, right? I was able to schedule my time around their schedule. So my goal was to put my 3 boys through college on the money I made in real estate. I didn't want them walking out with big student loans at the end. And I can tell you all here right now, I accomplished that goal. And my kids went to NYU, Syracuse University, Manhattan College. These are big nuts. Okay. So if I was able to do that, oh, and I paid off my mortgage on my home. All right. So if I was able to do that, anyone can do it. I'm telling you right now, anyone can do it. All right. So let's go to the next slide, Stephen. All right. So we are going to envision your big life. I'm going to do a little activity. It's going to take about 10 minutes. So this activity will help you envision your big life. Once you have that vision in place, then you can set meaningful goals that will bring you closer to that life. All right? So once you have the goals, we can talk about how to reach them. It all begins with your vision. So if for all of you who have printed out the guide, let's go to page 3 in your guide. I'll give you a few minutes to turn to page 3. Does everyone have that? It should look very similar to the slide that we have, but blank.
Is that elements?
We are in Spark.
Spark, okay, I'm sorry. You said page 5? Okay.
If
No,
you
I'm
guys don't
sorry.
have it.
No.
just-
We're in Spark 5, page 3. I'm sorry, page 3. Envision your big life, page 3. Just give me a thumbs up when everyone pretty much has that in front of you.
For some reason, I don't know why, what I see on the screen and what I see on the page is 2 different things.
Okay, you should be right now in Ignite, Spark 5, set goals that matter. And what I would like you to do is turn to page 3, envision your big life. And what you will see on that page is a circle in the middle and 5 rectangles around. Does everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm in it, I don't see it.
And if not, well, you know what? If not, you could even just grab a,
You know what? I'm not
Piece of
trying to be
paper.
rude or anything like that, but I just don't like when I see one thing on the screen and then when I'm going here and it's different, and then I don't get the full effect of what I'm supposed
Okay.
to be learning.
does
So
anyone else have that issue right now? Does anyone else not have? Yes, Jacqueline?
I had an issue with that and I might be able to help you, Minnie. So the document that they sent us was just the script book. So does your, like the cover page say script book?
It says Spark Script Book.
Okay, so then you're gonna have to, there's another folder that says Spark or Elementals. It's a folder actually, not the script book. That's also in the drive.
Mm.
And in that folder has the other workbooks, if that makes sense.
And
Only
that
got
is one of
2.
the reasons why Erin Chambers sends out an email every Monday and Wednesday morning, and she attaches the materials for
Okay.
that day in that email. So if you go to Erin's email right now, click on it, you will have the correct materials for today's session.
I'm
Yeah,
looking at it. I'm in the email right now. That's what I did. I went into Erin's email and it says Elements, copy of Ignite, and it says Spark Script Book.
So right above that, you should see
Yeah.
2 tabs that says Elementals and Spark, and you're gonna click Spark.
That's what I got. Oh, wait
Doesn't
a
When you
minute.
look
click Spark,
it looks like a folder or a gray folder,
I
Minnie.
think I see it. Now I see it. And it's
Okay,
like, and it comes
good.
out, it comes like a PowerPoint. It comes like the screen. Okay, so you said go to 3, right?
Page 3, yes, envision your big life. So what we're going to do is above each, and if you don't have it, you could just take a piece of paper and a pencil, a blank piece of paper, and you could draw what you see here on the screen. So draw a circle in the middle and just draw 5 rectangles around that circle. All right. And above each of the 5 rectangles, write a person or a cause that you care about. And I'll give you a few minutes to do that. Above each rectangle, either a person that you care about or a cause that you care about. And just so you know, by the way, one of the people you care about could be yourself. And it should be. We all need to care about ourselves as well. So once you have that written down above each of your rectangles,
I put you first.
Put me first.
Stephen, let me
Unfortunately, I
know,
didn't
guys,
catch what
just
you
put a
said.
thumbs up.
What goes
when
at the
you're done.
top?
What is that, Monique?
What goes at the top of each rectangle? I'm sorry, my phone
Okay,
cut out and I
on
didn't catch it.
top of each rectangle, write down either a person's name or a cause that you care about deeply. And like I said, that if it's a person, you could even put yourself as one of those people because you should care about yourself. All right, so once that everyone completes that, just give me a thumbs up. And I'll give you an example too, just give you guys, and some of you are a little stuck on this. So maybe you want to, be able to care for your parents as they age, right? Or like me, send your kids to school without debt, or pay for a vacation for yourself, pay off your mortgage, right? Or maybe for a cause, perhaps you would like to serve on a board of a charity that you care about, right? It can be any cause. All right, so,
You, parents.
all right, so now I think, does everyone pretty much have their,
Nope,
everything
I
filled
have-
out?
I'm sorry, I don't have it. I'm sorry if I'm being a pain, but the thing is, I just get so frustrated. I'm not trying to hold nobody up, but I'm
Minnie. I will try to send it to you.
No,
Okay. I'm gonna
no, I'm nobody, listen to what I'm saying. This is not something that just happens one time. I see one thing here and then it's not the same thing. So I just want to be able to get the full effect.
All right, but
I
all
just
you
wanna
should
get-
be seeing right now is
Yes.
a blank. See,
says-
if you look at the slide that Stephen has up right now, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Above each rectangle, it says Sarah and Hunter, mom and dad, right?
Yeah, I
You
see
should be
that.
seeing a blank form, just like this, that you fill in. That you're going to fill in everything for your big life, right? So that's what you should be seeing right now. You don't have that form in your guide?
I'm in the
Jenny, I
Spark
think I know
guide.
what you did.
What
Because
happened?
you went into the workbooks and you probably picked the third workbook because she said page 3. We're on
Yeah.
the 5th workbook, page 3.
One,
You're in
2,
Spark
3,
5.
4, 5. Yes, okay. Okay, I'm in Spark 5 now. And then what page?
3.
It says envision your big life.
That's it. You're on it.
Thank you. I'm not trying to be a hard time, but I want to be able to get the full effect.
No, I understand, and you should get the full effect.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mhm.
All right, so I'm going to give you a few minutes to fill in, right? So above each of those rectangles, Minnie, you're going to put either a person's name
Mhm,
or a cause that you deeply care about.
mhm, mhm.
Okay, and then once that part is done, we can move on. And, like I said about yourself too, one of those people could be yourself. So perhaps your big life includes being healthy, right? Especially in today's day and age, we want to be healthy. We need to be healthy, right? So we have more time and energy to give, right? So we need to stay healthy. There are no wrong answers here, by the way. It's whatever you want. Now, include an estimate of how much each action would cost and put that amount, just, an estimate in each of those rectangles. So let's say one of your rectangles was pay off my mortgage. Obviously, inside that rectangle would be the amount you need to pay it off. If one of your rectangles said student loans, inside the rectangle be how much do you still have in your student loans, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So just fill in the boxes on approximately how much money you need to accomplish that goal above the box. Okay. Now, in the center circle, you're going to add it all up, right? You're going to add up all the rectangles and put that big number in that center circle. So what does your big life require financially? Be truthful, right? We're all going to have a different amount there. What does this big life of yours require financially? Some parts of your big life will likely require time as well as money, right? So remember that as business owners, you will need to budget time in terms of money as well, right? That's very important, your time. What would you need to make? What would you need to make to be able to spend more time doing the things that you love? The rectangles represent your big life, and the center circle is your goal. All right, so I'll give everyone a few minutes here to finish it. And when someone is done, if anyone wants to share an aha with me, with the group. Just shout it out. I would love to hear someone.
You guys can share. Yeah, go ahead.
What is that?
My aha is that although I would like to make a lot of money and go on trips and all that good stuff, what's most valuable to me in terms of my big life is my time with my family and friends, which I have very little of at my current job.
Okay. I hear you. And time, we can never get back time.
Right.
Never. So definitely use it wisely, people. Right? And that is why, what do we all need to do? We all need to have a set schedule. And we need to put our personal time on that schedule. You have to do that. You have to do that. You need to build a bunker. I know it sounds a little selfish, but you do. You need to build a bunker around your schedule, right? And don't let anybody in there, unless of course it's an emergency, right? But you have to put time aside for yourself, for your family, especially for your friends. Otherwise, what is the purpose of even making the money? Jacqueline, you got that right. Time is most important. It really, really is. Okay, Stephen, let's move on to the next slide. All right. So now, hopefully, you all have a vision, an idea, and a goal. Right? So let's look at what it means for you to achieve that goal through real estate. All right. So we need to see where that goes. Thank you, Stephen. I don't even have to tell you. So where does it go? Where does it go? The first thing you need to understand is how your commissions work. And many new agents, they get the check for their first closing, and guess what? They spend it all right away. And I understand that. We're all waiting for that check. And sometimes it's crucial that we need to spend it. It's an exciting amount of money, right? And we want to just do what we want with it. But then we get in trouble down the line. If you do that, you're going to get in trouble down the line. let's talk about where the money goes and how much will actually be going to your goal.
Mhm.
All right. That's what's important here. So these numbers are very general and are meant only as an example. All right. Actual amounts will vary, especially if any of you here are on a team. I don't think we have anyone here on a team. First, if you're on the seller side of a transaction, you're the listing agent, half of that commission amount should go to the buyer's agent. If there is one, right? You might be on both sides, but half of the commission should go to the buyer's agent. But today the norm is only 2%, right? So we have a lot of agents who are taking 5% listings, but they're only giving out 2%, and that's fine. But if you're taking 4%, give out 2. Don't give out less than 2. Now, the same is true if you're,
I've
go ahead.
seen it.
What is that?
No, I've seen it where it says 1.5 and 1.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why-
I see
Yeah.
that too.
Oh, yeah.
And, first of all, I will say that to me, that is not right at all. But you do have some agents who are taking less than 4% commissions. And that's why you're seeing 1.5. Also, you have properties on the MLS that are listing with services that are not a full service package. And I could tell you that my sister-in-law and brother-in-law listed their house that way, and their house was on the MLS, and it was only 1.5 because they went with a service that all they did for them was slap it on the MLS.
That's like Foxton's.
Right, exactly.
Mhm.
But there are services out there. So
Mhm.
you will see less than 2 from time to time, but let's do the right thing, people.
Nope.
You take a 4%, give out 2. If you take a 5, look, the norm was giving out 2.5%. From when I started 20 years ago, that's what it was. As a matter of fact, we were taking 6% listings
Yep.
and giving out 3. So things are changing all the time. But right now, 2% is the norm. So the same is true if you're on, a buyer's agent, right? You're paying a percentage split to the seller's agent, right? You're sharing it, whatever it is. Once you have your half or whatever percentage, 2%, 2.5, whatever, about a third goes to the market center, right? To cover your company dollar, your franchise royalty and fees. After you pay the market center, roughly another third goes back into your business. This covers marketing, operating expenses, signs, your car, your phone, and anything else you need to conduct and grow your business, right? And then finally, you get your share. Your take home includes your taxes. Don't forget that, people. So put money away for your taxes on a regular basis. Always take some money from one of your closings and put a little away to pay your taxes. Now, because you don't know if you're going to have a fabulous year, right? And if you have a fabulous year, you're going to be paying back. All right. And if you don't, we all have write-offs. You need a really good accountant that will help you with those write-offs. All right. You do not want to have a year's worth of work wiped out because you failed to plan. All right. So don't do that. Plan well. All right, Stephen, let's go to the next slide. All right. So this is called Let's Get Real and Get Paid, right? So our objective in this activity is to get real about tying your business to your goals, right? We're going to figure out, based on how much money you'll receive from a transaction, how many transactions you'll need this year to meet your goal, right? So let's see, do we have, what page is that in your guide? I don't even know if they have that. Turn to page 5. I believe that's page, yes. Let's turn to page 5. Okay. Now, the very first thing we're going to do is first we're going to estimate the average sales price and the average GCI in our market, right? As you experience selling more homes, you will be able to estimate an average sales point and GCI that fits your transactions more accurately. Now, for our market center in Rockland County, and I'm going to base it on Rockland County right now, the average sales price of a home is approximately $550,000. So ignore what you see on this slide. I mean, you can use these numbers. It's just a guide, but I'm going to do a little bit more. Let's be realistic and say it's $550,000 is the average sales price of a home in this market in Rockland County. So for our market center, the average gross commission income, your GCI, per transaction is roughly $11,000. All right, so if you're selling a house, you're on the buyer side or the listing side, and it sells for $550,000, and they're giving out 2%, the average gross commission will be $11,000. Okay, Stephen, let's see, is there another slide? Okay. So now we're going to figure out how much of your commission is going to the market center. All right. So the number is capped at, for all of you that are in enhanced, which most of you should be, everyone should be in enhanced right now in this group, that number is 28,000, right? The number is capped at 28,000. Once you cap, as you know, you don't have to pay any more company dollar to your market center until after your next anniversary date. So next is the franchise royalty, which is generally 6% of your GCI. So that is capped at 3,000. All right, so put that on the next line where it says royalty GCI, 3,000. You add that up.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. So the total should be what, 31,000, right? And like I said, these amounts are just approximate. I don't know what everyone's cap is here, but it should be 28,000 and 3,000 cap for franchise. Right? So the examples have been provided in red on the slide, right? What you're just looking at right now. And you can change these figures to reflect your market center, right? So you can set your goals more accurately, right? So now we're getting to the point of all this. Let's find out how many transactions you'll need to do this year in order to meet your goals. All right. So let's look at A, the annual net income goal, right? How much money do you want to make this year before taxes and operating expenses? So put that on line A. How much money do you want to make this year before taxes and operating expenses? All right. B is the number we came up with on the last slide. What is the maximum amount you can expect to pay to the market center? So I believe that is 31,000, correct? C is your annual business expenses. And this includes everything that you pay to run your business, right? Lead generation, marketing, education, anything that you put out, your phone, your car, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So for C, we're going to just aim high right now here. You know, we can even say everybody's number is going to be different. There are agents that their annual expenses are 30,000, right? Some are 50,000. So all according to what they're making, right? For some agents, their business expenses is only 10,000 a year, right? Maybe less. So what you need to do is you need to write out your business plan every year and fill in all of your expenses. So you know exactly what that number is going to be. And anyone here who has not written out their business plan yet for 2022, make an appointment with your productivity coach. All right, and get that set. All right, so let's just say for line 3, I don't know, put down whatever amount, 30,000, 50,000, whatever you think that you're going to have as your annual business expenses. D is your total GCI. All right, so D is the total of A, B, and C added together. All right. So for me, what I did on mine here, I put down that the annual net income goal was 100,000. I have here on B was 31,000. Actually, I have 30, but C 50,000, and D came out to 180,000. This is how much money that you will need to make to pay the market center and still hit your goal. All right, so that is the amount of money. D is the amount of money that you need to make to hit your goal. So whatever you want to make, whatever line A is, then line D is the amount you have to make to have line A in your pocket, right? E is your average GCI per transaction. So that was the first calculation we did, right? So the first calculation I had 11,000, but remember for every market center, it can be different. The average commission check might be only 9,000. Right? So whatever your average GCI is per transaction, that goes on line E. And finally, on line F is how many transactions you'll need to hit your goal based on your average GCI. So to get this number, you're going to divide D by E. And that is going to tell you the number of transactions that you will need. So if I want to make on line D, if I need to make 180,000 in order to reach my goal, and my average commission check is 11,000, that means that I need 20 transactions. I need to close 20 transactions. And look, all of you have different goals. It doesn't matter what you would like your annual net income to be. It might be 100,000, it might be 150, it might be 200. Right? We all have different goals. If you need any additional help calculating your transaction goals, once again, reach out to the productivity coach in your market center. All right. Everyone get a idea on how to calculate the goals? Good. That was an easy one. All right. So let's go to, are you on the next slide? Let's see. Can you go back to the slide before that? Okay, that's what we were doing. Okay, great. So the next slide. Now, setting your goals in Command. So Command has a goal setting and tracking built into their report app. These goals are based on the MREA economic model and utilize the Contacts and Opportunities app in Command to track activities and production. So what I am going to do, and please forgive me if this doesn't go as smoothly as I would like, but if all of you right now want to do it with me, you can you could either log into Command right now, or you can just watch me do it. And then later on, you can go in and play around in Command yourself.
Do you want me to stop sharing for a second?
You
so
know
you can
what?
share?
If you can stop sharing so I can share.
Sure.
Okay, so let me see. So just bear with me, guys. Hopefully this is going to work smoothly.
There you go.
All right. Okay, everyone can see my screen?
Mhm.
Okay, so once you are in command and on your dashboard, what you want to do is you want to scroll down to goals. All right. And you're going to click on goals. Okay. And it will bring you to the next step. All right, so goals versus actual. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to move over to the right-hand side and click the blue box, goal settings. Now, once you're in there, it's going to give you a little bit of a guide here on what you can do. So if you don't remember what I go over with today, you can just watch the slides. So we're going to click Get Started. And let's take a look. Okay, we're going to wipe this out. Well, actually, we can use what's here. I don't even know why this is in here, but okay, so let's set goals. On the right-hand side of the goal page, the first thing is setting your goal. So what year are you setting your goals for? So obviously you're all going to pick 2022 in the Dropbox. What is your 2022 annual profit goal? Now, I did not put this number in here. I have no idea why these popped up, but this says 150,000. That sounds like a good goal to me. You all agree? I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So let's say 150,000. Now, annual operating expenses. Now, I prefer using a fixed amount over a percentage, but you can do either or. The reason why I like to use a fixed amount is because I pretty much know what I spend a year. So your expenses, again, expenses that are made, whether or not a transaction takes place, right? So that's salaries, lead generation, marketing expenses, education, automobile, housing, blah, 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 right? So let's just put in here, let's see, let's give this something. Let's say this is, I'm going to put 30,000. I'm going to just put high, right? And the cost of sales, expenses that are made only when a transaction takes place, right? So that's your split, the royalty fees, etc. So let's put in here, right now I'm just going to say, let's put our cap and our franchise fee, 31,000. Okay. Now, as you can see what's going on here, the GCI breakdown, look what's happening. By you putting this in, it's telling you what your annual estimated GCI should be in order for you to bring home 150, right? This is your annual profit goal. Let's just say the cost of sales is 31,000. And let's just say your operating expenses is 30, but you're going to put in the 31,000 should pretty much stay the same for everyone here. Your operating expenses is going to be different across the board. All right, I'm just shooting high here. All right. Now, let's take a look at the business makeup. I have on here that my business will be pretty much 50-50. 50% will come from listings and 50% will be buyers. And I do not work with any renting, no leases, so I have 0. So this here number also will change for each of you. Will you be working with maybe only 25% will be listings and 75% will be buyers? It may be in the beginning, but truthfully, these are your goals. I would prefer more listings because that's what we need. So try to do a 50-50. All right, try for that. Now, average commission per unit. I have 11,000 here because that is the average commission per transaction in my market. So you have to go based on your market. What is the average commission check? And for listings and for buys, it's going to be the same. It's going to be pretty much the same. And if you're doing rentals, you're going to put the percentage of rentals you're doing, and also what is the average commission that you receive per rental. It could be 1,000, 500, I don't know, whatever that amount is. Once you have all of these numbers in place, It's breaking it up for you right here. Everything that you need to do. Click next. And now these goal conversion rates are here by default. All right, so let's take a look at each one of these. These are by default. They're going to be already in here per command. But let's see what this breaks down to reach this 150,000 profit goal. So let's start with leads, right? So people who have shown interest in the services you offer, but haven't engaged in a two-way conversation yet. Contacts, leads that you have held a two-way conversation with and have established a value-based relationship with. That's contacts. Appointments set. So scheduled meetings with prospective clients, right? So the examples they have here, listing consultations, face-to-face touches to further relationship, right? Any appointment that you're setting, you're the buyer, listing, you're going on a listing appointment, a buyer consultation, showing homes, right? That's appointment set. Appointments kept, scheduled meetings with prospective clients that actually take place. Because as we all know, we all set appointments and a lot of them get canceled, right? So scheduled meetings with clients that actually take place. Agreements, exclusive agreements between you and your clients to do business with each other, right? So that would be either a listing contract, or that can be an exclusive right to represent a buyer. That's an agreement. Under contract or pending, accepted legally binding offers on homes, or when the landlord and tenant have signed a lease. And your closed units, transactions between a buyer and seller that have taken place with your assistance. So you're going to go in here on your own and you're going to change the percentages. You're going to change your conversion rates based on your goals, okay? Like I said, when you go into command, you're going to see these numbers. They're there by default. And then you're just going to save and continue. And that's basically it. It has the complete breakdown for you right here, right? Review, and like they're saying, review your goals. You can always go back to reports and make changes to this at any time and review your progress, all right? And then you could click what's next when you're playing around, and I would like you to do that and take a look at the videos for smart plans, see what the report pages look like, the command home screen. So I need for you to play around in command if you have not done so already. Right now, if you need help setting goals in command, again, you need to reach out to your PC or Eileen Angel, our tech coordinator. All right, because I don't want to take too much time on the tutorial. I am not the techie person, so I'm going to definitely stop with that. So let me stop sharing. And Stephen, you can begin sharing again. Okay. All right. So like I said, if you need help with setting your goals in command, I mean, it's pretty easy. Just reach out to your productivity coach or Eileen Angel. All right, so now let's see. Where are we? We're still on setting.
Do the right activities.
Okay. All right, so the point of our conversation today is not to be discouraging, right? It is to equip you with the reality of how to succeed. No matter how big your goal, you can achieve it in the real estate business. As long as you focus your time and your efforts on the right business activities. All right, so let's go to the next slide. And this is the best, right? The 80-20 principle. The 80-20 principle. I'm sure many of you have heard about it. In the 1940s, quality control manager, Dr. Joseph M. Duran, documented a life-changing universal principle that he called the vital few and trivial many. The idea was that a small percentage of your efforts lead to the vast majority of your results. And he attributed some of his findings to the work of the Italian, what was his name? Economist Wilfredo Pareto, who had observed that 80% of the wealth in his country was owned by only 20% of the population. That shouldn't be so surprising. It sounds like that's kind of what's happening now. As fate would have it, that principle did not become Duran's law. Instead, it became Pareto's principle. These days, we simply call it the 80-20 principle. Okay? So the idea that 20% of your actions lead to 80% of your results may be one of the most powerful principles you can apply to your life. It's about getting the most from your time and effort. It's about maximizing the results. It's about having focus. Does anyone know what we mean by big rocks? Okay, well.
I do not. No.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you what we mean when we say, you're gonna hear that all the time, right, in Kellowing, big rocks, big rocks. If your day, let's take a look at your day. If your day was a jar, right, it's a glass jar. You put your big rocks in first. If you put your little rocks, sand or gravel in first, you won't have room for the big rocks. So you get that concept? Your big rocks are the most important activities of your day and those that you cannot skip, right? Your little rocks are distractions or smaller tasks that may need to be done, but aren't going to get you close to your goal. All right. So let's go to the next slide, Stephen. Another way to identify your 20% is to ask the question central to the one thing. Who would like to read the slide? Anybody want to read the slide? Anyone? Thank you, Minnie.
What is the one thing you can do right now that would make everything else easier or unnecessary?
All right, now let's think about that one for a minute, right? Well, asking this question is simple, right? It can take some practice to dig down and find the best answer. So let's work through it together. Let's see if we can do that. Stephen, thank you. So what successful agents do every day? What do they do? Right? So here's the slide of activities we see every day. We know that this is how successful agents spend their time and how you should be spending your time. Remember, everything on this list will have to be done. We're trying to identify right now what our 20% is. Which action will get us the most and best results so that we can do everything else? Looking at these activities, which activity do all of you think will bring you 80% of your business? There's one thing on Grow Business, just one, that will bring you 80% of your business.
Lead generate.
That's it. That's right. Lead generate, lead generate, lead generate. It's a thing we do first every single day. Every single day. If you don't lead generate, you don't have a business. You have nothing. All right. Very important is to lead generate. Let's go to the next slide, Stephen.
You want me to go forward again?
Let's go to the next slide. Yes. Okay. So before I asked if everyone here knew what a 411 is, and most of you should, and most of you should be completing a 411. But for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, we're going to go over it quickly here. So what does the 411 stand for? The 411 stands for 4 weeks, 1 month, and 1 year. At Keller Williams, we use the 411 as a productivity tool to reflect your top priorities, which are what? Your big rocks. All right. So if you turn to page 7 in your guide, and you're going to have a paper version of a 411, but just so you know, there is also a digital version of the 411 in KW Connect. All right. But today we're just going over how to put your 411 together. Just jot this down. Definitely go into KW Connect and click on training. Then pick, let's see, Keller Williams University. And then you will see the 411 on there. And it is really self-explanatory on how to use it. It's simple, simple, simple. And then you don't have to write it down manually. But right now, I just want to go over what the 411 actually is and how you will put it together. All right. So let's start with your annual goals. Annual goals. You should set aside 1 to 3 days each year to think about your 1-year goals. And you might say, I need 1 to 3 days. Yes, you do need 1 to 3 days. You really need to think about what you want. What are your goals? Get very clear on your big rocks. Those 5 to 7 key goals that you must achieve in order to feel that you have had a successful year. Right? So now these are written in terms of gauges, right? Gauges are those goals that act as measures of your intended results. So what's an example? I want to double my last year's production, right? Many people put that, right? So accomplishing this type of goal is the desired end in itself, right? Annual goals should reflect each of the key areas of your life, right? And there can be many categories. You don't have to just stick to what you see here, right? There can be many categories. But today, we will be focusing on professional and your personal goals. All right, so professional goals would be what you will do for your business, right? What will your business do? What is your job, right? That is your professional goals. Your personal could be anything that you desire. What do you desire to have happen personally within your health, your family, education, right? Your personal finance, right? What improvements do you desire in your net worth? Reduce liabilities, increased investments, increased assets. While all the elements of your big life are important, I want you to select the one that is most urgent right now, or would make the other parts of your vision easier. For example, your annual goal, maybe, like I said before, paying off your mortgage or student loans. What would you need to achieve to make this part of your big life possible? For example, how much do you need to make this year to survive? Plus, how much extra is needed to pay off that mortgage or your student loans or your credit card debt? Right? This will be the annual goal that you put on top of your 411. So you all have to just think about what your annual goal is, that one big rock. All right. You can have many goals, but let's just focus on one big rock. All right. Once you know what your annual goal is, now what you want to do is you want to focus on your monthly goals. Right? Now, once again, you should set aside 1 to 3 hours each month to rethink and further refine your monthly goals because they could change from month to month. Right? So focus on your methods of achievement. How will you position yourself to pursue those annual goals? Begin by breaking your annual goals down into their monthly increments. That's what I want you to do. You're going to break everything down now. How are you going to achieve that yearly goal? Right? In order to achieve that yearly goal, you need to achieve your monthly goal first. All right, so you're going to break it down. In addition, write down the key activity goals that will lead to those monthly results. All right. So what are your activities that you need to do every single month to achieve that monthly goal, to achieve your yearly goal? Think of it that way. So when deciding your monthly goals, remember to put first things first. The most important goes on top. Things that you must do. That is not a maybe. You really shouldn't have no more than 5 to 7 monthly goals. That's enough. And do not plan any more than 1 month in advance. Don't do that. Do it month by month. Because like I said, things change month by month. So don't jump ahead. All right. So now let's take a look at your weekly goals. Now for your weekly goals, you should set aside a half an hour to an hour every week to form goals for the coming week. All right. And these are things you're putting on your calendar every week, right? So weekly goals are your actions or your activities. That's your weekly goals, your actions or your activities. They are your how-tos of achievement, right? They are your how-tos. So for an example, you may say every day, every week, every day of the week, what do I need to do? I need to do my daily 10-4. What's part of your daily 10-4? Well, I will contact 10 people every day. All right. And for all of you who don't know what your daily 10-4 is, once again, go to your PC if you don't know it. These weekly goals are the steps that you will take toward your monthly and annual goals. Again, your weekly goals are not a to-do list, but rather a have-to-do list. All right. So decide what you need to do that week to achieve those monthly goals. Again, remembering to put first things first. And limit your number of weekly goals to no more than 6 to 8 activities, key activities that you can actually measure. All right? Because you should be able to measure your activities, your actions, and what results they're giving, right? As you build your skills and create your business, figuring out your weekly and monthly activities will become more specific and accurate. It's going to take some time if you're brand new. For one, they will be able to better predict how many calls you need to make, right, to get X number of appointments, which results in Y number of transactions. Once you get to this level, you can use the goal tracking features in Command a lot better, right? What we just went over before. Okay, so everybody pretty much, everyone understands the 411, right? I really don't have to go further with that. If you do need help, please reach out to me or to your productivity coach.
Can I add something?
Sure.
Yes. So guys, leadership, we actually all do this. This is not something that we're just telling you to do. Like part of my job is doing this every week so that I'm accountable to the things that I'm going to do. And then it's also a way for my superiors to consult me and make me better, right? So it actually, at first I thought it was goofy, but I've been using it substantially over the past couple of months. And listen, it does help. Writing down your goals and just having that in front of you and then having an accountability partner, aka Meralda or Rebecca or whoever your PC coach is. It helps you out a lot, and you'd be surprised how much something as simple as this could help you out.
What is your name again? I'm sorry, the person that taught the class.
Meralda Moehrle.
Oh, Meralda Moehrle. Thank you,
Mhm.
Meralda.
You're welcome. Okay, so let's go to the next slide, Stephen. And this is a very important one, right? Don't lose focus. Here's the reality. The day-to-day life of successful agents is very repetitive. They know that their routine produces the results they need to live the life they want. Right? Often that's enough to make them love the grind. There are many of you on this Zoom who, once you start seeing your hard work pay off, you will love the grind. You will enjoy honing your systems and skills to compete at the highest level. There are others of you on the Zoom right now who will never love the grind, and that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to love it. That doesn't mean you're doomed to fail. Even those of you who find you love it will have days when you need more of a push to motivate yourself. We all do. I want to give you something for those times, right? I'm going to ask you to do something that's maybe a little silly at first, but it is a crucial part of building careers worth having and businesses worth owning and lives worth living. Affirm your big life. Let's go to page 8. Affirm your big life, right? So what we're going to do right now, we're going to create for ourselves a little ritual, right? So let's think back to your big life, that little activity we did with the rectangles and the circle in the middle. And let's think about the goals that you are setting for yourself. Think about one of those people or causes that you named as something you care deeply about, right? I want you to use that person or thing you care about to create an affirmation. You're going to say the affirmation aloud whenever you begin a new task. The key to creating a powerful affirmation is to be specific, right? So tie the activity you are doing to the greater goal and remind yourself why your work matters. You got to remind yourself why you're driving yourself crazy sometimes, all right? Why am I doing this? Let's say part of your big life, like I said before, is ensuring that your parents are well cared for as they age, right? And let's say that one way you want to do that is by helping them pay off their home. I'm just giving you an example. I want you to write an affirmation that would say something like this, and out loud before every call you make, as you lead generate, you could say, I'm making this call to provide for my parents by paying off their home because they provided me. They provided for me, and I want to show them that I appreciate them. Right? It's an affirmation that you can write. Remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. Remind yourself. Well, let's say you want to support a charity. You could say, I'm making this call to support the Ronald McDonald House by paying for families to stay there because I want to reduce the suffering of families, which is sick children, and then make the call, right? So before every call you make, before every lead generation, state your affirmation. Do you feel the difference between making calls for 3 hours a day because you have to do it or because you want to, because it's going to help someone in need, or it's going to help you reach your goal, whatever your goal is? How differently will that call go, right? How different will your business look? Right? Anyone want to share anything with that? Anyone has any feelings on that at all? You think that if you actually have yourself in that mode, right? You know why you're doing this and why it must be done, why you must achieve your goal. Don't you think that call is going to go a lot better? I think it will.
I think it's a great idea
Yes,
to do that way.
it really, really is. It works. Believe it or not, it works.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so let's go to the next slide, Stephen. Okay, so anyone want to read the slide?
I'll do it.
Okay, Stephen, go ahead.
Accountable people achieve results others can only dream of from one thing.
Goals without accountability are what? They are just wishes. Yes, goals without accountability are just wishes. We're more likely to do what we've said we're going to do if we know we must answer to someone, right? What I would like you to do, and that you're going to do this on your own, right? I want you to find yourself an accountability partner, maybe someone on the Zoom, right? This will be your accountability partner for the rest of Spark and Ignite. Find one. Once you, I don't know if any of you already done that. Stephen, has anyone paired up yet? You
I don't
know?
believe so.
Okay, so amongst yourselves, pick an accountability partner for the rest of Spark and Ignite. And once you are all paired up, you should share your 411 with each other. Okay, identifying your annual, monthly, and weekly goals. Do that, share that with each other. On your calendars, you should set up a time to check in with each other, right? And discuss your progress. Celebrate each other's victories and encourage each other through opportunities. It really is a wonderful thing to have an accountability partner, right? And for leadership, we all have accountability partners. For me, it's the team leader, right? I don't know, Stephen, who is your accountability partner?
So for my 411, actually, I was going back to that. I check in with Erin once a week and then she's like, oh, how did that go? How did that go? Did you get that done? Is this done? So it's every week we get an update and we're held accountable to the things we say we're going to do. It's useful.
So it really would be a smart thing to have someone to hold you accountable, correct? Right? So partner up between yourselves. So let's go to the next slide, Stephen. Okay, so now you know how to set your goals, right? You all know how to set your goals. And I thank you all for your hard work today. I hope that you're feeling empowered to reach your goals and live your big life. I really hope that this has brought you to some better understanding of why setting your goals is so important. Please feel free to reach out to me if you need help in setting your goals, or if you have any questions at all. I am going to put in the chat box my number for those of you who do not have it. And my name. No, can you do me a favor, Stephen? Can you just put my name? Do you know how to spell my name?
Hold on.
It's a hard one.
I'll do it. I'll
It's
pull
not
it up.
that hard.
Okay.
I can spell your
thank
first
you.
name. I think.
Well, my first
Did I
name.
get it?
Ah, that's close, but it's an E.
Ah,
It's
All
M-E
right.
instead of M-I, but it's pronounced Meralda. It should be an I.
I'm just pulling up the roster. I can put your email in there too.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem.
Does anyone have any questions before we end today's session? Anything at all?
You did a great job, Meralda, by the way.
Thank you, Stephen.
You're welcome.
I
I was gonna
appreciate
say
that.
not so much of a question, but this was a very helpful Ignite class.
Thank you, Monique. I'm happy that I was of some help to all of you. And like I'm here to help all of you. All
I
right.
agree. 100%.
You got it, Meryl.
Okay. So bye, everyone. And I am going to see all of you on the 28th when I hold elements on open houses. So I'll see you all then.
Yes.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great class, thanks.
Thank you.